What's going on, Far Cry fans? UnrealEntGaming here, bringing you Team Deathmatch Far Cry 3 on Shipwreck, everybody. I haven't played this game in months, may I add, so this is the first time I'm playing this game in about maybe 5 months or so. So, nonetheless, everybody, this should be very interesting. And today, guys, I want to talk to you about Far Cry 4. Now, Far Cry 4, I mean, we all know it's going to come out. I mean, really, there's no question in that. But personally, my question, for Far Cry 4 is it going to be good? Of course it is. But what are they going to do in an aspect that's going to change the way Far Cry perceives itself? I, for one, think that they pretty much have done everything within the Far Cry genre to make Far Cry one of the best, franchises ever. But what else can they do in order to progress the story, to progress the way everything works? In my opinion, I think that they should move away from the jungle, slash lone island sort of, I guess you could say environments, and just go towards something different. And what I mean by that is perhaps introducing a different environment, like let's say a Arctic tundra, or an ice map, or a snow map, because we haven't really seen that in Far Cry just yet. In terms of weather effects, we haven't seen many things either. We haven't seen snow. We haven't seen, other things like hail. So, I mean, personally for me, I think... Oh, shit, I'm getting shot. Personally for me, I would love it to where they actually incorporated different things for Far Cry. That being a different map editor format, a different multiplayer format, just as epic of a story. Just keep the way it was like in Far Cry 3. Have a protagonist such as Voss. Voss was such an amazing villain. But I feel like the next Far Cry game should just completely outdo this game, just like this game completely outdid Far Cry 2. Now, Far Cry 2 was such a great game when I first got it back in like 2007, I believe. It was such a great game. You were in the African plains, man. Sorry, and you were pretty much like, the story was so engaging and the story was so good, along with the multiplayer as well. The multiplayer, really did captivate. Oh, fuck! Why'd you die, asshole? The multiplayer really did captivate me, especially map editor. Coming from Far Cry Predator Instincts to Far Cry 2 was a big transition, at least for me it was. Oh, fuck this asshole. And it pretty much gave me hope for video games, you know what I mean? And I do believe that Far Cry 3's map editor was probably the best map editor of its time. And I do believe that in Far Cry 4, they really ought to up it up a notch. And what I mean by that is perhaps introduce a different weather system. Like, give us the abilities to have, tornadoes and probably tsunamis if we wanted to, like every 10 minutes. Like, for example, like a player can actually spawn a tsunami every 10 minutes and whatnot. That'd be pretty cool, right? Or a tornado, sort of say, and stuff like that. So I do believe that if they incorporated different weather mechanics, the actual game would be a lot better, and at least for me it would, because then you get to do different things and you get to incorporate a different playing, atmosphere. Also, what I think they should do is I think that they should keep the animals. Definitely have the same animals they did in Far Cry 3, except this time maybe add different animals. Especially if you're gonna do an ice map, add animals like sperm whales, penguins, and whatnot. Like, you know what I mean? That would actually be very cool. But don't just add animals for us to put in the Far Cry game and not use in multiplayer. If you're gonna do a Far Cry game where you're gonna have animals, put the animals like in the multiplayer as well. Like why have animals and not put them inside of the multiplayer? That's something I really did hate about Far Cry 3, was the fact that they didn't allow us to have animals in multiplayer. And that's what I think, oh shit, that's what I think really pissed me off about Far Cry 3, was they had all these great engines, they had all these great concepts and whatnot, but you weren't able to do much online. Like, you weren't able to spawn weapons online, you weren't able to spawn animals when you did your own maps. I mean, granted, I'm really happy that they have community playlists, such as Gold Maps playlist and the Silver Maps playlist and whatnot. But I also feel like they should do something different. I also feel like they should incorporate other things that can actually, bring the player back into the game. Like, Far Cry 3's multiplayer at this point, it doesn't have that many people online. Oh, look at all these all-seeing eyes. Look at all these Illuminati references right here. Illuminati! Everywhere. But like I was saying, you know, like they ought to do something different for once. Oh shit! Yes. And pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. There we go. Stab him with some steroids. So I do believe that they ought to do that. Like add animals into the multiplayer where they can actually engage in combat with you. Like the animals can attack you, the animals can do whatever. Also incorporate a character creation mode for multiplayer, because I feel like we're all the same characters in Far Cry 3. There isn't really anything new going on. I think that if the gaming companies were to allow us to create our own characters, it would actually speak louder than anything else, because now we're playing as our actual characters, you know, the people that we want to play with. Another thing that I would love to see in Far Cry 4 would be a immersive story. Now, I really love Voss as a villain for this game. I don't know about you guys, but I can definitely see Voss being a movie villain in, you know, an actual theatrical movie. Like, let's say, for example, like if they were to incorporate any Far Cry movie, I can definitely see them doing a Far Cry 3 movie. Why? Is because Voss was such an engaging character. He had so much depth, and the actual story, it told such a great story that till this day, I think that this game, at least its story, cannot be topped by many other games. I think a story that may come close to this game is possibly BioShock Infinite or The Last of Us. But anything else, it's like it's mediocre at this point, because this game actually told such a great story, and they utilized, you know, the villains, you know, to a certain extent, and they utilized the heroes to a certain extent. It was very, very good and very immersive. But for Far Cry 4, I definitely think that they should actually up the ante a little bit. Actually, no, not a little bit, a lot. Also add a bigger multiplayer system. Now, I do understand that Far Cry 3 is definitely going to be for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So if it's going to be for those big consoles, why not incorporate a bigger multiplayer? Like, you know, that right there would have been amazing. Better console, better multiplayer, like, you know what I mean? Also, better console, better map editor. I would love to see more things added in map editor, such as more buildings, more environment structures, more items. Like, you know, like this game had a lot of items for its map editor, but I still think it was missing something. Like, you know, this game did not have the perfect map editor of all time. I still do believe that there are some flaws here and there when it comes to this game's map editor, but that can easily be fixed by the gaming companies. This game is so great, but I can actually say that it's great enough to admit that it has flaws. Every single video game has flaws, you know. There's not a single perfect video game, you know, out there. If there is, you know, there's going to be at least one person who complains, you know what I mean? So, I mean, Far Cry 4, those would be the things I would like to see, because as a fan of Far Cry, I want to have an option to where I can actually expand my map editor, where I can add more animals, add environment disasters, possibly adding volcanoes and, you know, snowy maps, add snow, add a blizzard, add all that kind of stuff. Also allowing the player to add different animals, possibly giving us a DLC where we can add dinosaurs. Why not? You know, can you imagine playing a map with your friends and actually having to survive your friend and a dinosaur, like a fucking T-Rex or a Megalodon, or, you know, stuff like that. Also maybe have more aquatic animals such as octopuses and squids, sperm whales and killer whales and all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. Also, in terms of multiplayer, have bigger playlists, have more playlists, have different, you know, things to do besides playing domination and team deathmatch, you know, like possibly protecting the president or doing something like that, like manhunt or something like, you know, besides free-for-all, you know, team deathmatch and domination, give us something a little different for once, you know, like we all want to see something different because we're all fans of Far Cry, you know. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, and your thoughts and your opinions on Far Cry 4. What do you guys expect to see in that game? What would you guys change? What would you guys take away? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions. I always read your comments too, and I always like to talk to you guys about this because it actually goes deeper than what many people may think. So I do believe that Far Cry 4 is going to be a fantastic game. That's already a given. So, will it actually surpass Far Cry 3? I hope, because if it doesn't, that would be really, really disappointing. At least for me it would, because I'm a huge Far Cry fan. So if and I always pick my fucking players up. Look at this. I picked up more people in this game than probably anybody else did. But But also, guys, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel for all the latest Far Cry 3 news, information, and updates regarding Far Cry 4 as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys agree with my points of views, please hit this video up with a like, rape and sodomize that thumbs up button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Also, guys, feel free to check out my other videos. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of videos on my channel that you guys will truly love. I have over 1,300 videos, so you guys are actually going to love that. We won just now. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Like I said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will be seeing each and every one of you guys later. Oh, crap, they're going to beat the shit out of him. Hey, what you going to do, bitch? Huh? Yeah, look at that, amigo. Yes. Slap him around. All right, guys, we'll be seeing you all later. Peace!